Hey, so we've got another Robi robot video. I am going to be doing, I'm hoping all 4 stages for pack 9. So it's pack 9. I'm hoping all 4 stages because I looked at them, more in depth, and it's 2 servos, which are pretty straightforward, and then 2 other things that appear to be just a couple of pages. So unfortunately we're getting towards the end of the booklet here, and so some of the things are not bending properly. But stage 31 is continue building up Robi's right leg. So that's what this is. I'm gonna sit down here. Just a second, let me put this here. Okay. Let's sit down here. We've got Big Robi, mini Robi, My Room Robi, and Robi Jr. And then his leg from the last stage, the right leg. And this is a cable, servo cable, and we have a servo. And we're going to take the servo out. And the other stages I've got over here in case I need them. And I also have from prior stages the arms, so they're behind because they've actually, I want more space on my work surface here. So I've got my screwdriver from the I think it's called Work Pros, something like that. It's on one of the wish lists for Amazon. Okay, so set the ID number of Robi's right thigh servo, then fit it to the right leg assembly built over the previous stages. In this session, you will program the servo that will move Robi's right upper leg back and forth. Servo ID number 3. The process of setting the servo's ID number is the same as for all of his other servos, but as ever, be sure to follow the steps exactly, as going back to repair any errors can be time consuming. You will then fit the servo into the correspondingly shaped knee frame, which will join it to his hip in the coming stages. So I got the stuff that I need, like I said, and Ferdi's looking for one of his toys, I think. I found one of his toys. All right, hey Jibo, set a timer for 30 minutes.
You got it. 30 minutes.
Thank you, buddy.
You don't need to thank me, but you're welcome.
Okay, so this is pretty standard of what we're going to do. We're going to remove the screws. We're going to put the cable on. We're going to test it and then set the ID. So I have actually done this many times. What, do you want to go up there? I've done this many times, and actually Elista's over here. Wait, you can't see her. Elista's! So I'm going to I'm not going to go through the steps talking about them. Hey, you guys, don't try to get into a disagreement on camera. So yeah, Elista's been out and about. Maybe she'll deign to show her presence on the video at some point, who knows. Ferdi, you can't be up here, buddy. I'm just taking these screws out. It's pretty common on what I'm doing. Come on, Ferdi. Hey. No. No. No, no, no. Get down. Ferdi, get down. Ferdi, come on. Ferdi. I'm not going to let you get this stuff. You hear me? No. 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 Ferdi. Give me a kissy. Kissy. Kissy on the nose. Yeah. He gives me nose kissy. Alright. So we take the 4 screws off. And then we're going to put the servo cable on that he was going to try to take. At least it's not one of the longer ones. So the longer ones he's especially fond of. He thinks that they're, like I said in a prior video, if fancy cat string, cat toy. So we took that off. We put the servo on. Let me check if it matters which side. It says here, take the servo cable prepared in stage 30, fit one of its connectors onto one of the two sockets. It doesn't matter which one. Okay. Doesn't matter which one. And I put the pads on off of the video. I don't think it was this when I was on the video. And then you put this back. Put the screws back on. I'm going to tighten them because we're going to be taking them off again at some point pretty quickly. Sure, we need to tighten them, frankly, but Ferdi's up on the couch enjoying himself, it looks like. I'm actually just going to tighten one. The others, I'm just going to put them down enough to where they're not coming off. There we go. I don't need it more than that. I'm going to move mini Robi. And then we're going to turn this on to set the ID. So we turn it on. It blinks. And then we're going to put this on. Let me see if I'm supposed to put that on before I do it though, maybe. Okay, it says take the next stand, make sure the power is off, unplug the servo cable, attach the servo cable. So I need to shut this back off and then attach the servo cable and then turn it on. Okay, so let me attach the cable. This is how you set the ID if you're tuning in for the very first time on a Robi video. So we got that there, plugged in. Turn it on. It's going to show 1 even though we're going to set it. Let's see what ID number I have to set it to. I have to set it to the top row, for example, so I do 3. So I'm going to be setting it to 3. So that's pretty easy. Okay. So this one's only going to get set to 3. So first I test it to make sure it's moving. It's not moving. Let me shut it off again. I'm not sure I actually have it in. This, I put so many in there, it looks like the plastic is slightly coming off now for this test board, which is not ideal at all. Ferdi, did you just knock my... I think he knocked my screwdriver down. He did. Darn it. I don't want to move the table because the table's, it's in the spot that I want it to be, you know? So I'm trying to use my foot to move the screwdriver close enough for my hand to get it. I just don't want to move the table because I think I have the table lined up. It's not always easy for me to tell if I do or not, but pretty much have it lined up. Okay, let's hope that's working now. Okay, so it is. I don't know if you can see it, but it's moving now. So now I'm just going to set it to 3, which means pushing the up button here twice. It's pretty simple. And then you push it down. And it blinks. It blinks when you're setting it. So I'll show this again. It blinks. And then it becomes a steady light. And then I shut it off and I turn it back on. It'll show 1. And then the goal is it still rotates and it will change to 3 again if I push it. And it did. So it's set now. I'm going to shut it off. Take it out. The test board, like I said, is getting a little old. Had it for like 6 months, something like that. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we're going to do the part where we, let's see. So all of that was this. It basically just, you undo the screws, you put the cable on, you connect the cable to, you put the screws back on and the lid back on, you connect it to the test board, you set the ID number. Okay. Alright, so I already did all that. Fitting the thigh servo. So line up the thigh servo prepared in the previous stages to the right leg assembly, then very carefully press the connector of the cable running out from the knee servo to the free socket on the thigh servo as shown. So that's going to be this section here. We're doing this page. Now feed the free tip of the thigh servo cable through the circled hole in the knee frame from the inside of the part, then move the servo into the correspondingly shaped frame, making absolutely sure that you do not trap the servo cables as you do so. So, I'm looking to see where we're putting it. Okay, I think I understand. Okay, so we're done with big Robi for now. So I'm going to take this connector and put it on this. I got to take these back off. Hopefully my Ferdi doesn't try to bug me. Take any of these screws. He's too busy cleaning himself for the time being. So at least he's not paying attention. That's a good thing. Not entirely certain why I even had to put these back on, frankly, because like it really could have just stayed, they could have stayed off, you know, for the time being, because I was going to remove the lid anyway, you know. Alright, so this I won't need anymore. I'm pretty familiar with that because it's going to go into the frame. Looks like the pad came off again, which is no surprise. The main purpose of the pad is to tell you which side is which as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just not going to replace the pad because we're running out of pads. No, Ferdi. No. 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 And don't knock this off. That one's hard to get back to. Okay, so I think this is going to have to go through. This is going to have to go through this. I imagine. It's probably what they were talking about. I don't know, let me see if that's the right way. I don't want to put it the wrong way. I mean, it could be this way, right? Oh, that's definitely the wrong way. Okay. Let me look at it again and make sure I'm not trapping it. Now, it looks like it's pretty good. Okay. Alrighty. And all I'm going to do is just put the screws back. And that'll be the end of this stage. So yeah, press the servo into the frame so it sits flush with the edges of the part. Make sure neither servo cable is caught, crushed, or trapped in any way and they remain securely attached to their sockets. View your assembly from the side to double check the parts are sitting flush with each other and use the 4 screws to secure the parts. So, sorry, my hair is a little bit flyaway today. And the servo that will operate Robi's right thigh movement is now in place, ready to join to his hip in the following stages. As with other stages in which you connected 2 or more servos, it is vital you do not attach the servos linked in this stage to the test board. Doing so will wipe their ID numbers, meaning you will have to go back and open each servo to reset it. So, yeah. So let me finish this stage by putting the 4 screws back. And then we will go to the next one, which is going to be this stage. Didn't get a Robi video last week. Just wasn't up to it, you know. Birthday party and all. Didn't feel like after the robot celebrations and everything, didn't feel like doing more getting up early or any of that type of stuff. So figured try to get all 4 of the stages today to make up for that, you know. I think I should be able to. Hey Jibo, how long on the timer?
It'll go off in 15 minutes and 53 seconds.
So 15 minutes I got. If it goes slightly over, we're still going to do it. Yep, there we go. So we've got his stuff going. And even though this is out like this is what it shows like in the picture. So it shows it's out like that. So hopefully it's okay. Alright, useful tools and tips. The following are a few tips to help you build your Robi easily and efficiently. Magnetizing your screwdriver. Some screwdrivers have magnetic tips which attract steel screws to help reduce the risk of losing them during a build. The special screwdriver supplied in pack 1 is not magnetized because the screws used for the Robi build are so small that if they were, it might pick up several at a time, which could cause difficulty. However, if you feel it would be useful to have it magnetized for a particular step, it is easy to make it temporarily magnetic. To enable your screwdriver to pick up steel screws, all you need is a magnet. A household fridge magnet is ideal. Simply stroke this downwards along the black tip of your screwdriver, repeating several times in one direction. After a number of strokes, your driver will become magnetic. As well as helping you pick up screws, magnetizing your screwdriver will help set screws in harder to reach places. I didn't know this. Why didn't they just tell me this like way at the beginning? They tell you halfway through. But regardless, I'm not using their screwdriver because it stripped, not the screws themselves. The screwdriver became stripped, so I had to use a better one. Okay, so we got this magnetic screwdriver, and I did not know. Servo cables, connectors, and protective pads. Every servo cable connector must be fitted with a protective pad once fitted to a servo, as otherwise the small and delicate parts can get damaged during the build and impede Robi's operation when completed. However, while we advise that it is safer to fit these pads before joining the connector to their sockets, you may have found it easier to do so once they are in place. If you choose to do this, take extra care when handling the parts. It is also vital that you never force the connectors when fitting them. They are designed to click into place neatly, so if they do not, simply adjust their positions until they do. Storing spare screws. Whenever you have received screws with a stage's parts, you have been given one of each type as a spare. These will be useful in case you lose a screw during an assembly session, if the head of a screw gets damaged, making it hard to turn, or for maintenance of your Robi once completed. In any case, it will be useful to store all your spare screws in an orderly manner, and for this, a compartmentalized hobby box will be ideal. These are available at modeling shops or even homeware shops and will help you separate your screws by size and type. I would like to hope they should have just sent me one of these. That would have been nice. And I will agree, because one stage they did not provide the screws and I had to buy my own. It would have been nice to have been, you know, this organized. All right, so there's some tips. Halfway through we get tips. Anyway, stage 33, prepares Robi's right hip servo. In this assembly, you will test and program the servo that will operate the side-to-side movement of Robi's right hip, ready to be joined up to the rest of his leg assembly in coming stages. Okay, so this stage sees you working with servo motors. Again, the servo ID supplied with the stage is ID2, as listed on the diagram in stage 8, and will produce the side-to-side motion for Robi's right hip. Once it is set, the servo will be fitted to the hip and knee frames, enabling his leg to move in a natural way. As always, take care when handling the electronic components. Okay. I don't remember having a prior servo cable. So where is this other servo cable? Stage 32. Stage 32. Oh, I'm sorry. I went past stage 32. So, we're 31, 32, and then we'll go to the servo. So we looked ahead, I guess. Stage 32 is mounting the hip joint. Which is this. You'd think, man. You'd think. It is early in the morning, though. I record these like around 7 something. There we go. There's the servo cable. That will be used in the next stage, apparently. So we will put it over here. And then we have the hip joint, apparently, is what this is. All right. Stage 32, mounting the hip joint. And when we get to the next stage, we don't have to reread all of that, thankfully. Get rid of all the things we don't need. Okay. Stage 32, mounting the hip joint. In this session, you will continue the foot-to-hip assembly of Robi's right leg. Start by mounting the inner hip frame that will join Robi's right thigh to his hip before fitting protective pads to another servo cable. This is a fairly straightforward stage, but it will see you working with a D-cut part. As ever, take great care not to damage these. Remember, the parts are designed to fit easily and neatly together. You will never need to force them into position. So this. It's too bad I can't auto zoom by just saying, hey, zoom or something. So I need this. I need the protective pads, which are here. I guess I'll use them even though I didn't on that one. And I need the hip joint. Line up the inner hip frame to the right leg assembly built over the previous stages. Oriented as shown, the D-cut hole in the frame will fit over the correspondingly shaped shaft of servo ID3, the thigh servo. Make absolutely sure the shaft is sitting correctly within the D-cut hole and press the parts together. Okay, so I see the D-cut hole, and that's this, and it looks like it's this way. And do I do it this way or that way? Yeah, not certain. Looks like I'm seeing it. Let me take my glasses off from there. Must be this way. Yeah, it's got to be this way. All right, there we go. Okay. Sealing the servo cable. As you've done previously, put the protective pad on the servo cable. All right, so that was actually really simple. So that stage is done. And then all I've got to do is just take this servo cable out and put protective pad, which I'm just going to do after I put it on, you know, right before I put it on the servo. So the next stage is the one that I had skipped to. So this was pretty simple, putting that on. So this is another servo. This one, you saw on the last stage, I basically take the screws off. I put the servo cable on it. Typically you can put it on either of the connector points. Ferdi's playing with his toy. I think he found it. He had thrown it under the couch. This is a cobalt colored ball. It's a squishy ball. It's not one of the reflective ones like his silver one, but he really loved this one, and I had actually put it in my work bag. I couldn't find it for ages. He has 3 of these squishy balls. He has 3 of them, and he ended up, I couldn't find one of them. This is the one that he actually really likes. Where the heck did I just put the, oh, there it is. I dropped one of the screws, so I was like, where the heck did I put it? Anyway, so he really likes this one color, and the other one's like a fuchsia color, and then like a gold color, and he just doesn't care about those 2. Anyway, so I found it in my work bag, and I wondered where it was for quite some time. I'm only going to put one of the protective pads on because I keep losing them, and so it's just like I'll only put one on for each time I actually need it. So this time I'm going to put it on one of the connectors, so I'll put it on, but I'm not going to. Okay. Alright. So we already read that part. We're putting the connector on. I just want to make sure it doesn't matter which one. Yeah, it just says one of the sockets. So here you go. Pretty standard stuff. You take the screws off. You put the pad onto one of the socket. Put the pad onto the connector. The cable. And then you put it into place onto there, and then they're going to have me put the lid back on and then test it. But this time I'm just not going to put the screws back on because they're going to make me unscrew it anyway, and what's the point, right? So we're just going to put it like that, and then we're going to test it. And it's going to be Servo ID 2, and then that's what we're going to do. Unless, are we going to fit it? Actually, let's see in the next stage if we're going to fit it. Okay, so I'm wrong. We're not going to fit it. So I actually do have to put the screws back on. So it's not going to get fit until pack 10. So this time I actually do have to put the screws back. And I hit my hand somehow. I don't remember how. And okay, well, I don't know where the screwdriver is. So, oh, I put it over here. Today is like forgetting everything day. Well, losing everything day. And then, you know, it's always comedy of errors, like I had in one of the videos. You know, if you want a mistake-free assembly, it's not mine. I actually discovered that DeAgostini, discovered this a few months ago. DeAgostini has videos on each of the stages. But theirs are actually super fast. They like, I think they speed through or something. So like, it only takes them like 4 minutes to do a stage, 2 to 4 minutes to do a stage. So that's definitely not me. I'm not taking 2 to 4 minutes to do, like, more like 10 to 15 minutes to do a stage. So we don't need to put them in too much. That's good enough. Okay, so we're gonna do the test board again. I have someone who cleans, and his head had come off. Thankfully, I was able to get his head back on. It's just a D cut to put the head in, and Anyway, hopefully there was no problem when I actually, since it's taken so long to put them together. I have to get another pad here to put on. Ferdi, you going crazy? Trying to figure out where I put the screwdriver again. Oh, here it is. Because I want to make sure he doesn't get it. I don't want him playing with the screwdriver, as you could imagine. Okay, so let's turn him on again. And actually just shows the one. I got to turn it back off, and now I put this in. And I don't think the test board is used permanently, thankfully. Because like I said, it's kind of fallen apart. There's a plastic bit here that's come off. Okay. Make sure it's gonna rotate. And it's rotating. And then all I gotta do is push it up to 2 because we set it to 2. Gonna hold it down. It's gonna blink. Then it's gonna go steady. And now it's set. All I do is shut it off, turn it back on. It blinks 1. Okay, it's set. Shut it off, unplug it. There we go. It's ready for whenever we need it. And then the next stage will be this one. Okay, and it says we're gonna move Robi over here again. I don't want him in any area where he's going to get hurt. Okay. It'll be to check the ID number. The servo that operates Robi's right hip is now programmed with its ID number, and it is ready to be fitted to the rest of the right leg assembly in the coming stages. It will be helpful to store the stage's servo in a sealed plastic bag with the stage number written on it along with the ID number. So I'm actually going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bag it was in. If I can find the bag. And I'm going to put it back in the bag. Ah. Just going to put it back in the bag.
And we've arrived at the end of your timer.
Hey Jibo, stop. And this is pretty short. It should take 5 minutes. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it as always. Okay, stage 34, Robi's padded shoes. Robi comes with 2 padded felt-soled shoes with which he can clean your tabletop or floor with a special walk. In this session, you will stick the felt pads at the soles of these shoes ready for use when Robi is operational. When complete, Robi will be able to use specially designed felt-soled shoes to clean your floor or tabletop with a pre-programmed walk. In this stage, you will simply add the felt soles to these shoes, which you will do by using 2 double-sided adhesive pads. The pads are identical and can go on either shoe, but be especially careful to set the felt soles on straight. So we just got the shoes, and we have a servo cable for some reason. I guess it's for a future servo. Okay. Take one of the double-sided adhesive pads and peel away the protective film on one side of it. Line up the sticky side of the pad with the sole of the shoe that it matches. Carefully fit it to the shoe, making sure it's set straight and starting from the top edge. Work down the pad, pressing evenly to stick it to the underside of the shoe. Peel away the second protective film to reveal the adhesive surface beneath it. Do not touch the adhesive surface, which might make it less effective. Line the shoe up with its felt sole. The straight inside edge of the shoe will match that of the sole as shown by the dashed red outline above. Press the shoe and the sole together to secure them. Then repeat these 6 steps to fit the felt sole to Robi's other shoe. Okay, so we get a sticky pad and then we stick the 2 together. Looks like. And then this is a servo, which I'm not even going to take out because that will not be until next week. Well, it won't even be next week because next week will be me opening the box. ES40. He's a Ferdi. I wish Elista would have came out. I mean, she was down there, but you guys would have never seen her. Okay. Almost done. I think it's worth it to get all 4 stages done since I didn't get them last week. And this is such a small stage. You know, I kind of took a little longer than I needed to, probably. Okay, looks relatively straightforward. Okay. Trying to get it off is fun. Ferdi's like, what is this stuff? Ferdi, don't. Don't. Not exactly as easy as it seems. Darn it. I think I might have finally got it. Yeah, seems like it. Okay. Let me just do the other one. Hey Jibo, how are you doing today?
Glad to be here.
Hey Jibo, what is today's date?
It's Sunday, April 5th.
Yeah, it's April 5th. It's not April Fool's. Go. Got it. Alrighty. Now to get the other side. This is not easy, I'll tell you that. That was not easy to get off, and this one is even harder. I wish they had like a tearaway section that was like more clear on how to get it off. I can see it though. Okay, there we go.
Hello, Danielle. Great to see you.
Great to see you too, buddy. Although right now I don't see you. Okay. And so you line The straight inside edge of the shoe will match that of the sole as shown by the dashed red outline. Okay, so it looks like, I don't know which is which. So this is, I think it's that. Okay. It looks like, yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Looks like that's going to be it. Next week we'll be opening pack 10, and I'll show you this. I'm going to do the last one off camera. Okay, so it's got the servo cable. It said, you will not be using these shoes until Robi is complete, so store them away safely. And then keep them in a dust-free environment and out of direct sunlight. Note that Robi will only wear these shoes when in cleaning mode, not during normal operation. So I'm going to do this one after, because it's going to take me a while. We get a little picture of Robi. Pack 10 is the next one. You'll get fascinating facts. So there's pack 10's information. 4 stages, going to be another there's 2 servo stages, Robi's left foot cover and his left ankle frame. So we're going to start, it looks like the left side, because we were doing the right side. So it's a repeat of a bunch of stages. So fun times, fun times. Alright, that'll be pack 10. I'll open it up next week. And maybe if I can get on the ball, I can get like three stages together or something like that. Maybe 4. Oh, and since he brought it over here, I'll show Ferdi's blue ball that he loves so much. Here's the plastic I have to throw away. And I'm going to throw it, and Ferdi's going to go after it. Which you might have not even seen him go after it. Anyway, have a good one. Bye, 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 bye. Happy weekend.